the Brownlow, the peroxide hair, the proposal with a burger ring, and of course the footy.
Cooney, wonderful kick, what a great goal!
Now he's passing on all of his knowledge to the next generation of footballers, and he tells us why he's the best person to do it. Next.
Looks good. I don't mind it. Looks really good. Hello and welcome to Knock Off Sport, to you by Pepper Jack Wines. Richo here, and what a guest we have for you today. 250 AFL games. Not many people get to 250 games. He was a number one draft pick and he won the 2008 Brownlow medal, which incidentally I think he stole from me, but we'll get into that a little bit later on. Coons, thanks so much for coming in today.
Richo, thanks for having me, and I brought in a little snack for you.
Yeah, what do you got
South
there?
Australian Coffin Bay oysters.
The only ones.
Yeah, the only ones I eat, and since I stole that Brownlow off you, this is all I eat now, just the premium stuff, because I can afford it.
A little bit of extra income
Yeah, that's
coming your
right.
way. Well, they'll go well with the Pepper Jack wine over there. Thanks for
No
bringing
doubt.
them in, Coons. But mate, let's get straight into it. You didn't eat any of those in the jungle. I don't know how you did that.
No.
I'm petrified watching that show.
Yeah, well, I was petrified being on the show, Richo, to be fair, and that oysters are like a meal, like a delicious, delightful meal compared to some of the things that I put in my mouth in South Africa.
What was the worst thing?
I think the worst thing was a zebra's penis, Matthew.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It was.
Are you serious?
I ate a pig snout as well, and
Yeah.
I've got some pet pigs at home,
Yeah.
and that brought back some horrible memories just thinking about that. But
And that is why I'm not doing the jungle. Absolutely no chance.
oh,
Right.
you'd do it, I think. If they asked you to do it, you would.
No, I'm too scared.
You love the challenge.
Mate, let's get on to the 2008 Brownlow medal, because going into that count, I thought I was no chance. Did you think you were a chance? I didn't have any speech ready.
Well, you were just telling me off air that you thought you were a shoo-in to win it. You had a speech in your pocket,
I didn't.
ready to go and everything.
Did
well,
you have one?
obviously, I didn't have a speech written
Yeah.
out because I'm not sure if you can remember, but my speech was pretty embarrassing. It was horrible, and I can't watch it back. So I was obviously not expecting to win.
I declare the winner of the 2008 Brownlow medal, Adam Cooney.
Yeah, I haven't really had anything prepared because I wasn't really expecting this. But first of all, I'd like to thank the club. Obviously, been fantastic since I got there. All the support from the guys as well.
I do remember that I was favourite at about round 15,
Yeah.
so I was playing some reasonable footy at that
Yeah.
stage, and then tailed away a little bit towards the back end of the season. So I thought, look, I'll get some votes early, then I can sit back, relax, have a few beers and enjoy the evening, but didn't quite turn out that way.
You actually get pretty scared when you're high up in the votes. I wasn't expecting it, and I went there with no expectation, but about round 19, 20, when you're in the votes, you start thinking, geez, I've got to make a speech here.
I remember at one stage when I think you and I may have been on the same amount of
Yeah.
votes. Simon Black was around the mark,
was.
and Brent Harvey, who'd had a really good season, didn't actually
Yeah.
poll that well. I thought that he would win it, and then me and you kept getting votes, and every time you would get to 3, the crowd would erupt.
M. Richardson, 3 votes.
Everyone was cheering, screaming, and when I get the 3, I was getting booed pretty much
Oh,
out
no,
of the
didn't-
room.
A. Cooney, 2 votes.
It was embarrassing, and I was quite upset at that stage. I think I spent some time under the table. A whole round I went under the table just to try and gather my thoughts, and then popped up for another 3.
Thankfully, I didn't win that one.
Oh,
so I
you
didn't
don't mean
deserve
that.
it. I didn't deserve it. I did want to win, but anyway. Hey, mate, you're a number one draft pick, and I'm really interested by this because you look at all the publicity Harley Reid's had in Perth. I feel sorry for him. Was it like that for you and the expectations coming in? How do you handle that?
I think any pick that is number one, there are expectations.
Yeah. Has it got worse, though, now?
I think, given the media attention around the AFL,
Yeah.
I started so I got drafted 2003, 2004, and there was a fair amount of hype around that, but nowhere near to the extent that it is today. And poor Harley is in a 2-team town, and they love the West Coast Eagles over there. He's had a hot start to his career, but I think he's handled it reasonably well. But you are expected to come in, perform straight away, and play well in round 1 and onwards, and I wasn't at a level of fitness or professionalism to do that at that stage. So I had some battles in year 1. Peter Rode was my first coach, and he said to me, sat me down and said, look, I know you're not super fit, you're not super professional, but I'm going to play you every week until you build into it. And unfortunately, it cost him his job doing that, I think, because he got sacked about round 18. I think I played more games with him in the first year
And
than he
never
lasted.
dropped you in the first year?
He dropped me once.
Yeah.
I think I had 3 or 4 possessions on my first Friday night game ever,
Yeah.
and I had the big blonde mop. Played Friday night.
Which
thinking,
looked
this
good.
it looks better than what I'm running with at the moment, which is not by choice. So, but I played Friday night. Got dropped after that. Cut my hair and thought, well, it's a new me. So
Yeah.
never looked back from there. Sorry, Peter Road, I cost you a gig.
Hey, Coons, you're a coach now, and you mentioned that when you first come in, you were probably, I was too, you were a little bit unprofessional. You
Yep.
probably didn't know the standards. What would an old Coons tell a young Coons now?
You straight away, you go to the draft. It was on a Friday, I think. Flew back home, and then you're at an AFL club Sunday night, crying yourself to sleep, and then
Yeah.
training at Monday. So
So you got a whole new set of standards straight
whole
away.
new set of standards straight
Yeah.
away, and I just wasn't ready for
Ready.
that. So I would have got my diet right. I would have been way more professional, trained harder,
Yeah.
and got into it a little bit more professionally than what I did. So I try and tell my boys that at the moment.
Because you're coaching down at Geelong College.
Yep.
And St Joey's as well down there.
Yeah, I coached the under-16s at Joey's last year,
Yeah.
And I'll help out a little bit this year. But yeah, coaching Geelong College, it's interesting. As a player, I was quite offensive.
Yeah.
Just as in the way I played, I wasn't
Yeah.
an offensive
Yeah, I
person.
know,
but I did like to attack.
Yeah.
And as a coach, I'm the complete opposite because
Defensive.
you get obsessed
I can't,
with.
no, I cannot believe that.
You get obsessed with not being scored against.
Right.
And I try and tell it, look, when we've got the ball, go. But I spend most of my time setting up sort of
Yeah.
defensive structures and not getting big scores kicked against
so
them,
that
which is
surprises-
strange, isn't it?
Well, it is, because most coaches are defensive. You don't want to get scored against. And a lot of the coaches are guys that played in defence.
Yeah.
I never expected that from you.
Oh, I know, it is
Yeah.
strange. And it's funny as a coach, you don't really remember the guys who kick the goals,
Yeah.
but you remember the goals kicked
Yeah,
against
right.
you as a team. So hopefully I can adjust and be a bit more attacking as a coach than I than I am at the moment. But yeah, it's strange. No wonder coaches go mad.
Yeah,
Half of them
I can see it.
are crazy. A couple
Yeah.
of years in, they lose their hair. That's why I've had to shave it at the moment, and I'm only coaching APS footy.
Mate, you're also working in the media, and you have done for a number of years. How did you get into it? Because I know when I started, I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
They literally throw you in the deep end, they turn a camera on, and it's sink or swim. Is
Yeah.
that how you found it?
I still have no idea what I'm doing, Richo, and I'm 7 years in
It's
now.
it suits armchair experts, though.
Yeah,
you know, you
well,
can just
that's-
sit back and have fun.
That's the style of armchair experts.
It's great.
We love the feedback that we get. It's a bit of fun, but I got into it. I retired in 2016. It was the last round of the season, so
Yeah.
I didn't play the last game.
Yeah.
And then SEN, someone was sick, and they said, "Look, would you like to come in and commentate a game? This guy's not well." And so I just went in. Same thing. That no advice,
Yeah.
nothing about what to do. Just put the cans
That's
on,
what it is.
and away you go.
People can't believe that.
Yeah, so I did that, and I must have done okay because they asked me back. So I did some commentary stuff throughout the finals in 2016, and then just rolled in from there.
I think it's the beauty of that show is it feels like it is just like a podcast, but it's on, free-to-air TV. I think that's the beauty of it. It's pretty relaxed.
Yeah, it is relaxed, and sometimes we get pulled up by the powers that be above
You're going
us.
live now too.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
We are live.
That's
we,
dangerous.
We started live, and then we went to pre-record as soon as the siren went, and now
Yeah.
we're back to live. So I do get a clip around the ear every now and then, just to rein it in a little bit because it is free to air. It's not quite a podcast, but it is a podcast sort of style. We like to keep it relaxed, and we've got 2 new members this year, Tommy Sheridan and Kate McCarthy, who have had a show each. So they've started with a bang.
That's great. Now, Coons, let's get away from the footy for a moment. You're a family man, 3 kids. Your son Jack's just made the Geelong Falcons under-16s because you live down that way now, yeah?
Yeah, I'm about 15 minutes out of Geelong in a place called Batesford, just a little town with a roadhouse and a pub, so it suits my lifestyle very nicely down there. So yeah, he missed the whole year of footy last year, Jax, with a shoulder injury. He dislocated, fractured and tore all the joints in his shoulder. Do you know how he did it?
No.
Doing bench press the night before round 1.
Did he put too
last
much
year.
weight on there?
No, he was showing his friend apparently wasn't doing bench press properly, and he said he had 50 kilos on there, which is about his max.
Yeah.
Anyway, and
That's
he said,
a lot though when you're 15.
and he said, "This is how you're supposed to do it." And then he said, "This is what you're doing," and he ripped it back, and his shoulder popped out, and he had to have surgery and missed a whole season of footy. So he's sort of starting to get back into it now, and he's pretty lucky that he got picked in the Falcons side. So he's done a bit of hard work over the last 12 months. So it's good to see.
And you're living on a farm down in Geelong? Is that
We
right?
are, yeah. Well, I wouldn't
hobby
call it
farm?
a farm, a little hobby farm. We've got 3 acres down there, just pretty much full, chock-a-block full
Yeah.
of pets and kids and pigs and ducks and chickens and guinea pigs, and we got some goats recently as well. They're annoying, naughty little things, aren't they?
They eat anything too.
Oh yeah, and the pigs as well. The pigs eat anything.
Hey mate, Anzac Day is just around the corner. We've got to finish up in a minute, but I want to ask you about Anzac Day.
Yep.
I was always, as a player, watching that game really jealous, and when you went to Essendon, you got a chance to play on Anzac Day. Just tell us about it.
Oh, it was so special. Even the build up to it and everything that goes into Anzac Day, and 90,000 there. It was a 2016 top-up team, so we didn't have our best side out there, but it was magnificent. The whole build up of the war and Australia, New Zealand, everyone working together, and then. First bounce, a big bloody American kicks the first goal. Mason Cox, in his first game, ruined Anzac Day for us. And I think we got belted by about 70 points. So it was pretty good until the lead up.
Yeah.
And then we had to play the game, unfortunately.
Mate, what a great experience. Now, before we let you go, I've got one last question for you. A lot of coaches you've seen, a lot of coaches you've had. Give me the 3 coaches that you would invite to a dinner party down at the farm.
I'll have to start with Rocket. He'd be the first.
He'd be good entertainment.
Rocket used to love me, and we've seen some of the vision, and we've heard some of the audio of him as a coach. But he used to love me, and he used to give some good sprays. I think he might give us a spray on the farm too if I overcook the steak for him.
So he's number one.
He's number one. I think I'd invite Hurdy. As well in 2015. He was my coach, and by the end of the year he got sacked. And then probably Matt Egan, who was the caretaker coach. He's a great man, Matty Egan, and probably should have got another coaching gig. I think he's an amazing guy, and he lived 2 doors down from me when I lived in Melbourne, so that'd be my 3.
Beautiful. Coons, thanks so much for coming on Knockoffs today. Now, we've got a little bottle of pepper jack here for you, so thanks for coming in. Have a great afternoon, and we'll see you soon, and we'll see everyone next time on Knockoffs. We'll see you then.